Alright. So, on this side you've got your saving, loading, and gallery. One thing you can do is clear your sketch. Make sure to save it before you clear it if you really want to save it and restore it later. So saving, you can do it by the middle one. You have to take a picture of your painting. And then you can choose to save your sketch to load it later. So I'm going to do it because I don't want to save this line. But yeah. And loading your sketches can be done with View Gallery. So here are my sketches, lots of saves at the moment, 3 pages worth. Probably also possible to open a folder on the desktop. I'm not sure what this one does. Probably multi-select, or you can delete them from here. Oh, that's nice. But I don't want to delete things. So yeah, simply select a painting and then you can load it up. So I'm just gonna load a quick painting here. You'll notice that when you load a painting, it will play back the brushes you've used and the strokes you've drawn in order. There's also a way to quick load it. If you hold down the touchpad, then it will quick load, and you don't have to wait if you don't want to wait. So I've just quick loaded it, and well, you see that it's loaded. There's also a showcase, which is basically the same as your personal gallery, but then this is a showcase that's promoted by developers. So yeah, you can get something from someone else. Or you could also copy tilt files from other users to your local folder and then open them from your own gallery. So I'm just going to quick draw this. Might take a few seconds. There. Oh, isn't it pretty? So we've got some water, we've got a little train track, train, and a nice waterfall, and some brushes and things like that. So yeah, it's pretty cool to explore other people's work. Sketch. So that's it for this page. We'll move on to the next page. Here, you've got really a lot of tools at your disposal for setting up some more advanced techniques or other tools for you to use. So the first one is the environment. You can switch environment. So this is the standard one. You could also choose a night sky, which has a pretty sky, or space, which has a moon and is in the middle of space, so there's no floor except for the one you're standing on. It's a transform that you can use to draw clothes, really, or maybe even use it as a base for someone for drawing a character or a person. We've got a pedestal. You can draw something on top of that. A little snowman and the snow. You can use as a snowy environment. And since I just had a thought that maybe you can use the teleporting to go a bit further. So there's a teleport feature that you can use to move around in your painting. It's not really helpful in this environment. But for instance, the standard one, if you're drawing something huge, then you can just go there. And then, yeah, you can really make some large paintings. So you're not really limited to the room space that you have. Just do anything really. So yeah, I think this is about the center for me, I guess. Anyway, so go to the environment. Oh yeah, you've got a black environment, which is just almost pure black with some dots, as you can see. Maybe not. They are used so that you can sort of orient yourself. White one, which is the same, and you can see some small floating plus signs really that you can also use to orient yourself. Else this would just be completely bright and in the same color, and it would get quite disorienting, I suppose. And one, which is, well, as you can see, it's blue. So you can switch environments at any time, even if you already have a painting. So let's say I'm just going to open this one as an example. This is rather quick. So right now I have the blue environment. And if I wanted to change it to a night sky, or white, or space, and then we've got the moon here. Because even dress form, and then we've got a giant just standing in the valley, which might be a nice idea for a painting actually. A giant. And you also notice that each environment might have different lighting settings, so if you look at it like this, and then switch to space, you'll notice that it has quite a different color. So, yeah. It's just fun to switch around. So, space touch. Well, I've just briefly showed the teleport. You can use it to move around your area if your physical room space is too small. You've got the mirror mode, which you can use to draw in a mirror. And you can grab the mirror using the grip buttons. And then you can just place it somewhere and then draw that way. And then draw something. Yeah. One cool trick that the mirror mode has is that you can also, if you fling it or rotate it, then let go, you can make it tumble around and then use that to draw some pretty cool tunnels or tornadoes or some pottery. It's a bit hard to get it stable, but it is fun enough to use. So yeah. I've got straight edge tool. If you activate this one, you'll notice that you won't draw anything, but you do get a floating line. And if it turns green, then it's on a straight angle. If it's yellow, then it's just, well, anything. And if you then let go of the trigger, it will draw, as you can see, a completely straight line. We've got the eraser, which works as you would expect, except there are a few things that you should realize. So I'm just gonna do a example of something that might be annoying to do. So let's say I screwed up and I want to erase something. So I can grab the eraser, I can change the size of the eraser head, and when you hold the trigger, you will notice that it will start rotating. And anything that you will touch will then get eaten by the eraser. So that's nice. The one thing to keep in mind is that it erases your the entire brushstroke. So I can do a brushstroke like this, or a brushstroke like this, which is like huge brush stroke. Oh, I can't write like this. Anyway, so if I then would erase it, it would erase everything. So keep that in mind that you shouldn't make gigantic strokes, or else you might lose too much work if you erase it. So it's better to just work like this. You can erase things individually. So another issue is that is overlap. So let's say I want to delete this green line here. If I do it over here, then it would delete almost everything. Okay, you can undo that. That's too much. So if you want to grab specific things, then you need to be really careful, because if you do it, if you overlap, then well, yeah, you might erase the wrong thing. For the brush select, so let's say I've drawn a nice little line here. Later on, I've drawn another little line here that's a bit bigger. Maybe some I don't know what that is. And I've used a line that's red. So yeah, but let's say I've drawn some stuff and I want to go use exactly this color again. So one way to do that is to just try and get the right color. And I don't know, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. So that's not really effective. The thing you can use is the brush select tool. The brush select allows you to select a brush. So let's say I want one, then you will see a pop-up telling you which one you're going to use, and you also see the color change to the color that you can use. So I want this one, and now I have that exact same brush again. And if I then want to use it with another brush, that's fine. If you want to use another color, that's also fine, but anytime you want to go back to something you've used before, you can just use the brush select tool, which is really helpful. Oh, undo and redo, we've gone over that. Use it to undo and redo your work. You've got the Multicam Tool, which allows you to take a picture, which you can then share with your friends or the internet in general. There are two ways to take a picture. You've got the normal one, that's just like a regular photograph. You can also swipe to get this tilting tool, which creates an animated GIF that you can use. So there's no way to influence the tilt, so to say. But yeah, you can use that to take pictures. Finally, we've got some notes around there. And then some settings. Now, the settings, you might think it's something that you set up once and then never touch again. Well, that's not really true. So, just open it. A quick one. I think this one might be a good example. So I'm going to quick load it for a second. Right, so here we've got a nice little painting. And you'll notice that the settings is set to high performance over here. And you will see that each brush has some shadows and some lighting effects, and where you can see that these beams cast a shadow on the cliffs, stuff like that. The boat has a little shadow. Right, so but other than that, well, it looks alright. So you can go further and go for the high performance, then each brush will have even more details to it. Or you could go lower to low performance, and then you will notice that there are no more shadows. Oh no. So, when do you want to use lower settings? If the shadows don't look well on your picture, if it doesn't look nice. If your painting is like cartoony, then you might not want shadows, so you can set it to lower quality. And then, yeah. Also, when painting very gigantic paintings, performance might take a hit. So if you're constantly drawing with the maximum setting, then you might get some frame drops. So if you know what you're going to paint, and if you've got the brushes set up and you know exactly what you want to do, set the quality to lower, and paint everything you want, and then set back on high performance or Uber, and then see how it looks and go from there. Finally, there's one more setting that's mobile. And mobile completely changes how your painting looks. Every brush is a lot flatter, so to say. It still has some lighting to it, but you will notice that it doesn't really have the shading effect that it used to have. So you can use it to create some really interesting paintings that are completely different from low performance or high performance, or anything really. So keep that in mind when painting, when deciding what to paint. Decide which setting you want to use, because if you got a nice idea and it fits best in mobile, then just go mobile. It doesn't really matter. It's not. It's a completely different style that you can use. Feature desktop might seem okay, but in some paintings it will just look bad because the painting wasn't meant to have shadows in it. So that's one thing you can do here. Another thing that's really helpful is the brush tip angle. So you will notice that in my controller right now, it points that way. See? So the little tip points, well, if I hold it in front of me, then it points that way. So I can change it. Like this, for instance, and now it points up, as you can see. So if I want to point that way, I have to tilt my hand. Instead of holding it like this, I have to hold it like this. So that can be really helpful when, for instance, if I have to paint some cliffs, I can do it like this. Or I could change the brush tip, and now I can hold it like this, whatever is more comfortable. If you have to paint the ceiling, then it might be nicer to hold it like this than to hold it like this. So it's good to know. You can send analytics or enable audio. So what you're hearing right now is the audio, and I can enable it, and then you won't hear me or hear me painting, and you will hear me painting. So just undo this. Finally, we have the Spectator Camera. That's more useful if you're streaming or sharing it with your friends and family in real life. If you enable this, then you can change what the people on the regular monitor see. You've got a camera right here. You can see the frustum, and you can also pick it up and then put it somewhere like this. And so right now you will be seeing me waving, but I will be seeing the Spectator Camera and where it's at. So there's three variants. You've got the stationary, you've got the figure 8, which, well, makes a figure 8 really, which is really neat. Or you've got the circular, which just rotates around something. It's a quite large radius. I'm not sure if you can see it when I'm holding it, but you can assume that right now it's just rotating around the entire centerpiece of this painting. So, hello. It will go all the way around and then, come back. Let's disable it for now. So in this version there's a hidden button that you can use. You can add a reference image if you want. scale that up with the grip and hold on both sides. You can just move it around. You can place it and then move it around again. But you can also use it to like, yeah, sort of make a painting of the painting with some badly chosen colors. But that's okay, since we're just having fun. And then I can just move it and voila. I have no idea what that means, but yeah, if you don't like it, you want to get rid of it, you can just toss it away and then it vanishes. So that's, you've got Twitch chat and YouTube chat that you can enable. And you've got an export feature that you can use to export your painting easily. Well, I'm not sure what, but it can be used in 3D rendering programs, I think. So you can also pick up this thing and toss it away if you want. Right, so that's all what's on this side. Let me just go to custom environment. So we've got all the brushes. I'm not going to go over them all. But yeah, you can realize that there are 2 pages worth of brushes. There's lots of variety. Some have special effects. Some are good for specific styles, and others are good for other styles. There's quite a lot of variety. Most of them are flat 2D brushes, but yeah, you've got a lot to work with, a lot to experiment with. Because this is so, well, it's not really limiting, but because you have a limited set, it's really cool to just experiment and try to well, make new styles with the tools that you have. So, color picker, tool variants, point with your controller and hold the trigger and then release if you have the right one. There's really much else to it. So yeah, those are all the options that you have and the tools that you have and some brushes.